All right, it's game day. You only got one job to do. That's win. That means you stay focused for 4 quarters. Know your assignments and finish on every play. Don't be looking for shortcuts, and don't even think about making excuses. Because if you want the W, you're going to have to earn it.
And a very pleasant good evening, football fans, and welcome back to Baker Gator High School football on WTJT 90.1 FM and JockJive.com. Tonight, we are live from Baker, Florida, inside Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium, home of the Baker Gators. Tonight, the Gators face off with the Graceville Tigers. Last year in Graceville, the Gators trapped the Tigers 48-12 and look to do it one more time as they are looking for their third undefeated season. But the Tigers have revenge in their mind, looking to give the Gators their first loss of the season. The Baker Gators and the Graceville Tigers, stay tuned. It's all coming up next. And once again, a very pleasant good evening, football fans, and welcome to Baker Gator High School football on WTJT 90.1 FM and JockJive.com. I'm Mark Forehand, all set to bring you the exciting play-by-play action of tonight's game between Baker and Graceville. And with me, once again, as he has been all season and really his entire life, is my son Seth. And Seth, it's good to be back with you after what seems like an eternity since the last game.
And we've had a few of those this season, but it's great to be back here at Doug Griffith on a chilly November night. Looking forward to some great football. Indeed it is.
In fact, 3 times this year we've had 2 weeks between games because of a forfeit from Jacksonville Joshua Christian Academy. And then October 12th, Chipley, Hurricane Michael devastated the area, and that game was postponed, then canceled. And then last week was our first open day, and so we've had just a lot of open dates and bye weeks, and now we're finally back on schedule, and it's good to be back in. A little rusty after 2 weeks, but it's good to be back.
Yeah, good time to shake off the dust, but I'm excited to be here for this final game of the regular season and looking forward to seeing the Gators in the playoffs again.
Exactly. Well, 2 weeks ago, they faced Northview, and at first the game was close, and then Baker pulls away and beats Northview. They scalped the Chiefs 35-7. And what can you take away from that game 2 weeks ago?
Well, the Gators just came out fighting, and Northview did have some fight in them as well. Like you said, they kept it close for a little bit, but Coach Brunson and this Gator team is just known for making great adjustments. And once they were able to see Northview for a half, they went into the locker room, came back out, knew exactly what to do, and just ended up running away with the game 35-7. Just absolutely great performance. And it starts out with your main guy, your playmaker in Junior McLaughlin. Number 2, finished that game 22 carries, 262 yards, 3 touchdowns. His first play from scrimmage was a 95-yard jet to the end zone. And after that, he was just lights out the rest of the game. And defensively, the Gators just played lights out once again. It was actually the 5th game of the season where they've allowed 1 touchdown or less. They have 2 shutouts on the season, and that was their 3rd game where they only allowed a touchdown. So just another great performance by them. They also forced a fumble, recovered 2, had 9 pass deflections and 1 interception. So this Gator defense is just a force to be reckoned with, and this team is a very complete team. So the Gators ended up with another district win last week, making them 4-0, and so they are at the top of the district, and tonight they'll look to go 5-0 in the district.
Indeed they will. And Graceville tonight, they come in, they are 2-5-1. Now explain that tie. If they're 1-2, lost 5, and have the 1 tie.
Yeah, the 1 tie was to Mariana, and I assume that had to do with Mariana High School undertaking a lot of the storm damage from Hurricane Michael, and so that game was recorded as a 1-1 tie, so not an actual score, but that'll be the one that you'll see on their record. But 2-5, just a really down season for them. Graceville, one of the better teams normally in the district. This has just been kind of a down year for them. They've been outscored 253-143, so they're getting outscored by 110 points on average. Their offense only able to put up about 18 points a game while their defense is giving up 32. So just really a struggling year against common opponents. They would have had 4, except for Baker now with the Chipley game having been canceled. They only have 3 common opponents. The final one is Northview, and Graceville will actually play them next week. But against the common opponents that they have been able to play, the Gators are 3-0, while Graceville is 1-2, both with wins against Holmes County, very strong wins, 42-0 and 42-21, Baker, Graceville, respectively. But Graceville had some hefty losses to Chipley at home, 30-24, and then at home to Vernon, 52-12. So some pretty stout losses, getting outscored there, 103-78, while Baker was outscoring those same opponents, 96-13. So Graceville really struggling, are really going to have to come out tonight and try to fight off this impressive Gator team.
Indeed. So, and they did beat Freeport, their other win, really quite impressive, beating Freeport 44-19. Yeah. The team captains are out at midfield now, and for the first time tonight, it actually feels like football weather. All season long it's been warm, but right now we have clear skies and some cool temperatures. In fact, game time temp is about 52 degrees. It's going to hit 40 before it's all done and said with. So looking forward to tonight's game. It is the last regular season game for the Baker Gators. But next week begins the playoffs, and we'll talk about that later on. The Gators are in their maroon jerseys with the white numbers and the maroon pants and the maroon helmets. So Gators on the side. Graceville is in solid white pants with white jerseys and the black numbers and black helmets. And looks like that Baker won the toss and has deferred to the second half, and Graceville will be receiving. So we're just about set for this final game of the regular season between Baker and Graceville. Take a short break and be right back after this.
One of our sponsors this year for our live coverage of Baker Gator varsity football is Wise Equipment in Crestview. Wise Equipment specializes in sales and services of Kubota and John Deere mowers and tractors. They carry Steel and John Deere chainsaws, line trimmers, and blowers. Plus they have John Deere toys. All products are backed by a manufacturer's warranty. Wise Equipment is located at 1147 South Verdon Boulevard in Crestview and can be reached at 850-682-3366.
We are proud to acknowledge the support of Whitehurst Powell Funeral Home in Crestview. They are a family-owned and operated funeral home, open 7 days a week, and can handle all funeral needs. Plus, they offer advanced planning. Whitehurst Powell is also home to the Southern Heritage Crematory. They are located at 436 James Lee Boulevard, and the phone number is 850-682-3052. Owner Andy Powell is committed to caring for you in your time of need, and is also proud to help make coverage of Baker Gator football possible.
And welcome back to Baker High School. Both teams have just come onto the field, and we're about set for this final season game between the Baker Gators and the Graceville Tigers. And it is a clear night. The Gators are 8-0. Seth, we failed to mention that, but the Gators are 8 wins, no losses. And for possibly the second time in Baker history, this team, if they win tonight, will have 3 straight undefeated seasons.
Regular seasons.
Regular season, right.
Yeah, an important distinction, but still impressive nonetheless, obviously. So tonight, Graceville is in the special position of playing spoiler. As 2-5 team, definitely not going to the playoffs, not winning the district, but they could potentially just put a blemish on an otherwise perfect record that Baker has thus far.
Exactly. Brian Holly is set to kick off for the Gators, and I would say at least 90% or more this season he has pooch kick. And the reason the pooch kick is so, that's one thing Coach Brunson likes about the pooch kick is there's no return. Either the team calls a fair catch, or if they're willing to catch it, Joe Brunson greets and meets them right there where they catch the ball normally. So looking forward to this.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian Holly. He's got a powerful boot. The few times we have seen him kick it away, he kicks almost to the end zone every time, and on his extra points, ball sails way high. So he's definitely got a boot, but I do like Coach Brunson's strategy of the pooch kicks. Yeah.
We are waiting for the whistle. Teams are lined up. And Seth, I don't know about you, but I feel a little bit rusty. It's been 2 weeks since our last broadcast, and it's showing. There's the kick, and it's a pooch kick, and this one sails way out of bounds. And so the Tigers will take over 1st and 10 from their 40-yard line, just underway between Baker and Graceville.
I'll tell you, I actually feel better with the chill in the air. It just kind of gets me more in the football spirit rather than being hot in here. So I don't know, maybe a little rust, but a little bit more excitement tonight. The cold kind of brings out the just excitement in me.
Indeed it does. The Tigers sit at 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line, just underway. And looks like quarterback for the Tigers will be, I believe that's Anais Myrick. And they run a spread offense. Wait the snap. And it's pitched back to the running back. And he's quickly brought down by the Gators. Tackle was made initially by 62. That's Mason Carter, or Carter Mason. And brought maybe a yard gain to 2nd down and about 9 for the Tigers.
Yeah, Carter Mason coming from that tackle position. There's just so much speed, even on the defensive line. And that time he breaks off his block, and the toss play is just not quick enough to get the running back. I believe that's number 2, Joseph Claiborne in space.
And there's a whistle on the snap. Most likely legal procedure against the Tigers.
And something you certainly don't want to do against this Gator defense is false start and move your own offense back with penalties. But they will not do that. I believe that was an illegal substitution against the Gator defense.
Actually, it was offside.
Offsides,
yeah. So it's a 5-yard penalty, brings up 2nd down 4 for the Tigers at the Baker 49-yard line.
So 30 seconds in, and the Gators have committed their first penalty of the game, a storyline we'll talk about later.
Exactly. Once again, spread formation for the Tigers. And it's Myrick, quarterback keeper. And he's hit immediately by John Matalaska. And brought down also Peyton Rockwell on the tackle, along with Devin Jordan.
And that's a quarterback keeper all the way. The defense just collapses in on the center of that line, and Myrick just has nowhere to go.
Brings up 3rd down and about 3 for the Tigers from the Baker 48-yard line. 10:41 to go in this first quarter.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, once again, spread formation for the Tigers from the Baker 48-yard line. Myrick, quick pass, and quickly hit. And that was Brad Inscore quickly making a tackle on the Graceville receiver. Mike could have intercepted that. He was there that quick. So it's a loss back to the 48-yard line, brings up 4th and about 7 for the Tigers, and they drop back into punt formation.
Yeah, Brad Inscore has been a force on the defense. He actually does have 2 interceptions on the year. He's a wide receiver on offense, just has phenomenal hands, and he's also been known to lay some serious hits on wide receivers as well.
The punt is blocked and is picked up by Sean McLeod. He goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Baker Gators. And Seth, that punt just looked bad from the start. It was a high snap. The punter failed to get the ball off and blocked by the Gators, and Sean McLeod picks it up. I'm not sure who blocked the punt, but Sean McLeod takes the ball back for a touchdown, and the Gators go up 6-0 with 9:40 to go in the first quarter.
It looked like Junior McLaughlin might have gotten back there. I'm not sure if he was actually back deep for the punter, if he came on a rush. Somebody got a big paw up there, and then Sean McLeod with the awareness to just pick that ball up and take it to the house for 6. But like you said, the punter just had no time. It was a high snap, and then the Gators were in his face, and they made him pay.
And that makes a defensive man feel good. I think that may be Sean McLeod's first touchdown this season, as far as I know, and what a way to score it. And movement on the offensive line.
I believe he was drawn.
It is offsides against the Tigers. Brian and Holly set for the point after.
The Gators are going to decline that penalty. Go ahead and re-kick regardless. And Brian Holly, a marked improvement. He went 5 for 5 last week on extra points. He's 21 of 27 on the season.
That is a good stat. 5 for 5 is hard to beat. Wait for the snap from Old West. A high snap gets off the hands of Rockwell, who is back to hold the punt, or hold the extra point. And so a lot of miscues on special teams already between with Baker and Graceville. Both have miscues on their special teams. Nonetheless, the score is Baker 6 and Graceville nothing. 9:41 to go first quarter. Back after this.
WTJT would like to thank Harris Fence of Baker, Florida for their support of WTJT and live coverage of Baker Gator football. Harris Fence offers a wide range of fencing services and supplies which include chain link, galvanized or vinyl coated, wood, privacy or picket, PVC, privacy, 3-rail, etc., and ornamental aluminum. They also offer various styles and brands. They do residential, commercial, and industrial work as well as offer free estimates and military and senior citizen discounts. Harris Fence is fully licensed and insured, and they have been serving Okaloosa, Walton, and Santa Rosa County for 21 years with 35 years experience. They are also a member of the Better Business Bureau. Harris Fence is located at 1588 Garrett Mill Road in Baker, Florida, and they can also be contacted by phone at 537-6169. Thanks again to Harris Fence and James and Rebecca Harris for your support of WTJT and our local football team.
And welcome back to Baker. Once again, a push kick by Brian Holly, and fair catch is made by the Tigers at their 38-yard line. So, Seth, we're 9.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Baker on top 6-0, and they've not ran one offensive play yet.
Yeah, this is the first time this season, actually, that the offense wasn't the first side to score for the Gators. So the defense coming up clutch on special teams. Well, actually, the special teams coming up clutch there, blocking the kick, and then Sean McLeod taking it back to the house and scoring that touchdown. And now we'll see if the defense can force another 3-and-out.
Spread formation, and this time it's a different quarterback for Graceville. That's number 2, Cedric Williams. And another penalty this time again against the Gators. And Seth, I know you was going to talk about it later, but I believe you said they have 50 penalties over a 7-game stretch because we had 1 game forfeited and 1 game canceled.
Yep.
That's a lot of penalties, and yet we're still winning. But you can't keep that up forever.
Oh, for sure.
1st and 5 from the 42. Spread formation, and Williams, quarterback keeper, left side, picks up a couple yards. Tackle is made. Devin Jordan, or excuse me, that's not Devin Jordan. That is Eric McQueen on the tackle for the Gators.
Yeah, and that's just a simple little read option there. Merrick reads that the defensive end is collapsing on the running back, keeps it himself, and tries to take it up the gut, and actually finds a little success, a solid pickup of 6, which is going to be very important on these first downs. Yeah,
2nd down and 4 for the Tigers. Again, spread formation, and quarterback keeper Williams gets a couple yards out to the 47-yard line. Tackle made by Joe Brunson and Sam Croson.
And another good run from Merrick, showing some prowess from the quarterback position, finding some space, and the offensive line for Graceville having some success against this strong Gator defensive line. Merrick able to pick up a 1st down there, so 2 plays, and already they've improved on that first drive and picked up a 1st down, so impressive work.
8:45 to go first quarter, 6-0 Baker on top. Again, quarterback keeper Williams, this time he finds some room. He busted across the 40-yard line, tackled by Peyton Rockwell, but it's another Graceville 1st down. And Seth, you mentioned earlier, Graceville 2-5 out of the playoffs, nothing to lose. They would love to play spoiler and give the Gators their first loss.
Absolutely.
And nullify that possible 3 seasons of an undefeated record.
Yeah, absolutely.
1st and 10, Graceville from the Baker 40-yard line. Again, Williams keeps the ball. He slips at the 40. Eric McQueen there just in case he got by, but it's going to bring up 2nd down 10 for the Tigers.
And that time the swamp got the best of the quarterback there. Some of that home field advantage. The turf kind of plays for the home team. Pulls the quarterback down for a short loss. And again, I like Williams, the quarterback keeper, just trying to make some space, and his O-line is doing a great job for him thus far.
Yeah, 7:55 to go in the first. Baker on top 6-0. Courtesy of a blocked punt returned by Sean McLeod. Spread offense, spread formation for the Tigers. Long snap count. And now Myrick is back at quarterback, throws the ball, and it's complete to his tight end, but he is hammered by the Baker defense. And leading the charge was Carter Mason.
And they're trying to do a little wide receiver, a halfback screen there, but the offensive line just does not set up the wall of blockers, and Eric McQueen is just immediately in the running back's face, bring him down.
He picks up a couple of yards, brings up 3rd down, 8 for the Tigers at the Baker 38-yard line.
And these 3rd and longs are something that Graceville is really going to have to avoid to have continued success against the Gator defense. These passing situations, the Gators like to send in a lot of pressure, so look for Joe Brunson to come in on a blitz.
Spread formation, and Williams, quarterback keeper, left side, breaks one tackle, and he's still going and finally pulled down inside the 30-yard line.
And again, another great run from Williams, running off that left tackle. He's able to make a couple of guys miss and then get upfield. And it looks like he's going to pick up a 1st down on that 3rd and long with his feet.
I believe Devin Jordan and Carter Mason on the tackle. Kenny Williams, several of them, but there's a penalty, and so that's going to nullify that 1st down run by Williams.
And so the reason that Williams was able to get that run, a hold, so that's going to bring him back, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and even longer. So we might see Williams' arm, or they might play the safe bet here and do another run. We'll see.
So it wasn't sheer talent that got him those yards. It was the hold.
Sometimes it's the hold.
Yeah. 3rd down and about 17 yards to go. The ball back at the Baker 47. Clock rolling, 6:30. Again, spread formation. Now Myrick is back at quarterback. Rolls right, and he is hammered by Devin Jordan. Drops the ball. But he was ruled down. But Devin Jordan just Eric McQueen, my bad. Eric McQueen just levels Myrick back at about the 42-yard line.
Eric McQueen just playing angry tonight. He came out the quarterback like a train, just absolutely planted him in the turf, and quarterback lucky to keep possession till he hit the ground and then immediately let go.
So now it's 4th and about 30 yards, looks like. And Graceville back in punt formation, 4th from their 43-yard line. And no one is deep for the Gators. There was no one deep last time. Now, last time the punt was blocked, and let's see what happens this time. It's a low snap. He gets the ball off, but there's a whistle. But the center for Graceville having problems. Last time it was a little high. This time it just rolled to him.
He might be getting a little anxious. I can understand being a little bit skittish with those big Gator defensive linemen coming at me as well. And that time somebody jumped early once again, and that's going to give him a little bit more room to punt this time.
Yeah. They have to get the 30, so it's 4th and about 32 yards. 5:30 to go in this opening quarter, and what looked like an impressive drive at first by Graceville. Now all of a sudden they backed up. Another poor snap. He does get the punt off this time. No one back to field it. And it's going to roll inside the 25, 20-yard line and is down about the 18-yard line by Graceville. 5:11 to go, first quarter. It's Baker 6 and Graceville nothing back after this.
This radio ministry relies heavily upon its gracious supporters to survive, like Days Tire Pros in Crestview. In addition to tires with a national warranty, they have a complete car care center, providing brake jobs, front end and rear end alignments, oil change, lube and filter, shocks, belts, air conditioning, and so much more. Days is located where they've been for nearly 4 decades of service on Highway 85 South, which is also home to Pack Rat Mini Storage. The phone number, 850-682-5088. Thanks, Kim and staff, for your support. Days Tire Pros, home of the hassle-free guarantee.
Milligan Assembly of God is a proud sponsor of Baker Gator football. Our service times are on Sundays at 9:30 for Sunday school, 10:30 for morning worship, and 6 p.m. for Sunday night explosion. Our midweek service is on Wednesday nights starting at 7 p.m. and there's something for every age group of the family. You can connect with us at mag.church. And you can check us out on Facebook. From Pastor Mike White and the congregation of Milligan Assembly of God, we want to say,
Go Gators, yeah!
And welcome back to Baker after an official timeout. The Gators now first play of offense, Seth, 5:11, and this is the first play. And Peyton hands off to Junior, and he is brought down hard in the backfield by Graceville. That was Gerald Carpenter that put a lick on Junior and drops him for a loss. Only a yard loss, but back to the 19-yard line. Second down 11.
Not something we're accustomed to seeing from Junior. First play from scrimmage is dropped for a loss, but Jarrell Carpenter coming from that tackle position just breaks through his block like nothing and plants Junior down in the backfield. And very uncharacteristic from his first carry against Northview, which was a 95-yard sprint to the end zone.
Peyton hands off to Junior again. This time Junior breaks across the line of scrimmage, but still is met by several Tigers and forced out of bounds near the 25-yard line. That's going to bring up now third and about 6, looks like, for the Baker Gators. 4:10 to go in this first quarter.
And that was Jarrell Carpenter again, along with Demick and Myrick. They just were able to find Junior. It's another zone read. He doesn't like what he sees on the inside, so he breaks it outside, and just the speed of this Graceville defense, and they catch him.
Yeah, Peyton under center, and this time Tigers, a couple of the Tigers jump off sides, and they give the Gators 5 yards. And Seth, we've only played about 8 minutes in this first quarter in this game, and several penalties, both sides already.
5 to be exact, 2 for the Gators, now the third for Graceville. It's going to bring up a third and very, very short. And we'll see if the Graceville defense is able to come after the Gators here and hold them on this third and short.
Well, the officials are taking some kind of timeout. I believe they're going to maybe measure and see if it's a first down for the Gators.
Looks like.
Yeah, Seth was talking about this group of seniors in their sophomore year was 14-0. In their junior year was 12-1, and this year so far 8-0. So this group of seniors is 34-1 overall, and they're looking to win their 29th straight regular season game. But if they was to win tonight, that would be 3 undefeated seasons. Be the second time in history. Their first time in history was in 1983, 84, 85. If that sounds familiar, that was also the years they won state championships.
That is correct. So some impressive history to contend with, and I'm sure they would love to finish off this undefeated regular season with a state championship.
It is third and about a yard, so he was just shy of the first down. And Junior this time on the right side, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield. He does manage to get back to the line of scrimmage, but it's going to bring up fourth and just inches, looks like, from here, Seth. Well, and I'll take that back. They are still discussing it. It is a first down for the Gators. He just did get that first down, but Seth, this Graceville defense, impressive so far.
They've had time to prepare. They've had about 10 weeks to know that by the end of the season they were going to have to get ready for Junior McLaughlin. It looks like they've done their homework, and they're just getting in the backfield right now, and they're wrapping up his legs. He's not able to keep churning. They're just pulling him down and held him to a short gain there, but it's just enough by about the nose to get a first down.
Yeah, Junior McLaughlin again on the handoff, and he gets a couple of yards before being stopped by Myrick for Graceville. Brings up second down and 8. 3:20 to go in this first quarter. Baker leads it 6-0 on a blocked punt return by Sean McLeod.
And
the extra point was no good.
We have a score update from over in Niceville, Florida, where the Navarre Raiders are facing the Niceville Eagles. They lead the Eagles 7-0 in the first quarter. And our friend Irish Bill is also over there commentating that game tonight.
And Navarre, now, are they still undefeated?
They've lost one game, I believe.
Lost one game.
8-1, I believe.
But Navarre having a good year as well. Second down 8. Under center is Peyton Rockwell. And this time rolls right to pass. Hit Jack Adams right in the hands, and he can't bring it in. Falls incomplete. And that's going to bring up third down and 8 for the Gators. So mixing up this time on second down, and it hit Jack right in the hands, and he just couldn't bring it in.
And unfortunately, I do like the play call a lot because they're mixing it up now, trying to set up some play action with several runs in a row, and They had Adams open, but Jack just not quite able to bring it in, like you said.
Yeah, 2:43 to go in the first quarter. Baker on top 6-0, and they face third down 8 from their 32-yard line. Kenny Williams and McLaughlin in the backfield. It's McLaughlin on the handoff, and he busts through the line. He's across the 40-yard line, and very close, if not a first down, is a first down. And now the Gators, Seth, they may be rusty too after that 2-week layoff, that open date last week, and finally getting untracked here or on track or something.
Yeah, sometimes rest can be your own worst enemy, having that time off and getting that extra prepared time. And it's not always super beneficial, but that time Junior showing that he's shaking off the rust a little bit and gets a 10-yard scamper up the middle for that first down.
Yeah, 2:20 to go first quarter, 1st and 10, Baker from their 40. McLaughlin missed him off the right side. His ankle tackled by Myrick. And the fans can't see it, but Myrick is not a very tall guy. In fact, he's only, he's
your
only
height.
he's 5. He is pretty tall then, but he's 5'6", and but he put a giant tackle on McLaughlin at no gain. Brings up 2nd down 10. The ball about the 41-yard line of the Gators.
That's a strong tackle. I like that. He wraps up his legs. That's the key. You have to stop Junior's legs, and that time he does, and one of his teammates is able to come in and finish off the tackle.
Yeah, 1:38 to go in the first. Junior this time left side and tripped it by Williams about the 45-yard line. He falls to the 48, but they're going to bring it back to about the 47, looks like. So it brings up 3rd down and about 5 yards for the first for the Gators.
And this is just great work by the Graceville defense, knowing you can't try to tackle Junior high. He's got a low center of gravity. You got to take out those legs and stop him that way. And so far they've been bringing up a lot of 3rd downs for the Gators.
Junior left side. He's across the 50, the 40. He's got green grass. The 20, the 10. Junior will score. Touchdown, Baker Gators.
And you can only do it for so long. One missed tackle, just not quite able to wrap up that leg. And once Junior sees green, he's not going to stop seeing green until he hits the end zone.
A 53-yard burst by Junior McLaughlin. And the Gators go up 12-0. With 60 seconds left in the first quarter. And now we'll see if they'll go for a 2-point conversion to make up for the failed extra point earlier. Of course, actually, that was just a snap that just sailed off the hands of Peyton Rockwell. Normally, Nathan Fleming has been the holder all season long, but they have switched to Peyton, I think, actually, the last couple of games, if I'm not mistaken. But they are going for 2 here. Peyton under center. He has Rockwell or McLaughlin in the backfield with Williams, and McLaughlin gets the handoff, but he has stopped shy of the goal line. So still the Gators lead 12-0. We'll take a short break. Be right back after this.
WTJT would like to send a special thanks to CCSI of Crestview, Florida. It's businesses like you, through all your support, that makes this live coverage of the Baker Gators Friday Night Football possible.
And welcome back to Baker. After a 53-yard touchdown run by Junior McLaughlin and the 2-point conversion fails, it is Baker 12, Graceville nothing with exactly 1 minute to go in this first quarter.
And that's just the offensive line winning that war in the trenches, providing Junior that one big hole, and then Junior does what he does as a playmaker, breaks a little arm tackle, and then just gets through and finds green grass and scores a touchdown. Now the Gators with a 2-touchdown lead here.
Yeah, he just broke tackles and busted through, yeah. So now Brian Holly for the kick, and it's another pooch kick. And fair catch is called for about the 35-yard line by the Graceville Tigers. So still, Seth, Graceville's defense they stopped Junior on the 2-point try. So, Graceville's defense is still doing pretty well, all things considered. They just can't get this offense on track. Now, the last drive really was an impressive drive by Graceville. They got down inside the 30 and then just penalties and just knocked them back where they was facing 4th and about 32 yards.
Yeah, they kind of got in their own way, and the Gator defense doesn't really need much help stopping opposing offenses. They've really done it all season, so penalties are really going to hurt Graceville if they keep getting them in critical situations when they're having drives that are really going well. And that time they were already about fairly deep into Gator territory before they just started marching themselves backwards.
And they've been penalized now, and they place the ball back about the Graceville 30-yard line. 1 minute left in the first quarter. Baker 12, Graceville nothing. And now Myrick in the spread formation, quarterback keeper, and he's fast and quick, but he's brought down quickly by Peyton Rockwell and Eric McQueen just shy of the line of scrimmage.
And McQueen and Rockwell just breaking through their blocks in the backfield immediately. McQueen with those strong arms wraps up the legs, and then Peyton just finishes the tackle second and long here.
Yeah, 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Baker and Graceville. Graceville 2-5-1 on the season. The Gators undefeated with 8 wins. Looking to make it number 9 and have 3 undefeated regular seasons for this senior class. And now Williams is quarterback. Again, spread formation for the Tigers. And he's going to keep it and hits the line of scrimmage and is brought down quickly. Kenny Williams in there along with Sean McLeod. Breaks him down quickly. But Seth, I'm impressed by the speed of these quarterbacks, but the Baker defense a little bit faster. That's the end of the first quarter. At the end of one quarter, it's Baker 12, Graceville nothing. Back after this.
WTJT would like to thank Jason Norton and Baker Metalworks for allowing us to bring live Baker Gator football coverage to the listeners of WTJT. Baker Metalworks offers a large variety of colors, and they are all Energy Star rated. They have 4 profile styles with 29 and 26 gauge. They also have delivery available, and all of their materials are Florida product approved. Baker Metalworks is located at 5846 Highway 189 in Baker. They can be reached by phone at 850-537-2010. Thanks again to Baker Metalworks for all of your support here at WTJT.
And welcome back to Baker. And real quick, Seth, a score from Chipley is Chipley 10 and Holmes County nothing. Chipley over Holmes County 10-0. So it's good to see that Chipley is back, playing football. They canceled our game with them due to Hurricane Michael. A lot of devastation, damage, and destruction over that way. But it's good to see them back, and they're winning. And that's always kind of makes you feel good.
Absolutely. Good to see them back out there on the field.
Graceville facing 3rd down and 10 from their 30-yard line. 2 quarterback keeps by 2 different quarterbacks. 0 yards, and it's 3rd down 10 as we are into the second quarter now. Myrick rolls right, wants to pass, throws the ball, and he overthrows his receiver. It was intended for number 13, and it goes incomplete, brings up 4th and 10 for the Tigers.
Myrick trying to get out there on a bootleg, give himself some time. His receiver is coming over on a crossing route, and the ball just sails a little bit high, a little bit too tall for his receiver. And so 4th down, and Graceville will have to dangerously punt again.
Yes. And now this time, Junior is back to receive the punt. The last 2 times, they've had nobody back deep.
And Junior's a lightning bolt on special teams. 2 punt returns for touchdowns this season already.
That's true. Charlie Nichols back to punt for the Tigers. Another poor snap, but he gets the ball off, and it's a nice punt. Bounces at the Baker 40. Junior picks it up at the 35, reverses field. He's back to the 40-yard line looking for somewhere to go, gets a good block. He's across midfield, and he's going out of bounds near the 35-yard line as the Tigers pursuing Junior, but still a nice punt return. But there's a flag down. It looks a couple of them, and Seth, that usually indicates a block in the back.
Based on the location, unfortunately.
And it is against the Gators.
So Junior wisely, he must have noticed the flag and pulled up, and that's good to save himself some energy instead of taking that the extra 50 yards to the house, which I think he might have been able to do.
I think he would have hit just a nice parade of Gators there leading the way. But, yeah, once he saw the flag, and he may have even seen the block in the back and just decided, well, there's no point in me running all the way in.
Right. And
he kind of pulled up and went out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw right before he pulled out of bounds, Zach Mason came up and made just an absolute monster pancake block on one of the Graceville defenders, just planted him in the ground and opened up a hole for Junior. For not, of course, but still Gators will have great field position to start their second drive on offense.
Yes, 1st and 10 for the Gators from their 44. 11:33 to go in the first quarter. Baker on top 12-0. Courtesy of a blocked punt return by Sean McLeod and a 53-yard dash by McLaughlin. Now spread formation for the Gators. Junior in motion. And Peyton Rockwell, quarterback keeper left side across midfield, tackled at the 48-yard line. And that's about an 8-yard pickup for Peyton Rockwell.
That's a great read option by Rockwell. He reads the defensive line as they collapse in on the back on McLaughlin, and he keeps the ball himself, takes it up outside the left tackle, and is able to pick up a solid gain on first down, bring up a second and medium.
Yeah, it wasn't as long as I thought it was. It's actually a 6-yard run, so second down 4 for the Gators. 11 minutes to go in the second quarter, and Baker lead at 12-0. Again, shotgun formation, and this time Metaleska in motion. Handoff goes to McLaughlin. He burst through the offensive line. He's across the 40-yard line before being tackled by the Graceville Tigers. Deshaun Pollux makes the tackle for Graceville, but it's a first down for the Gators at the Graceville 40-yard line.
Another solid run by Junior, just right up the gut, just following behind some great blocks from this stout offensive line, and picks up a first down there in Graceville territory.
And again, Junior with the handoff, and Junior showing his burst of speed, and he's across the 20-yard line quickly before being tackled by the Graceville Tigers, puts on their first down, and that's about a 20-yard run for Junior McLaughlin.
And Junior just lowering the shoulder. It's a dive play up the middle. He's almost into the secondary before he's even touched, and then he just lowers that shoulder and absolutely runs over the Graceville defender. As he's falling on the ground, he's able to just slow up Junior enough.
And now Peyton, quarterback keeper, around the right side, and he's forced out of bounds by the Graceville Tigers. And Seth, that's a really different formation they're running. Peyton is in a shotgun formation, but he has 2 running backs on either side, and then one of them goes into motion. But it's a different offensive formation that I've seen this year by the Gators, but it's working well as they are now down about the 12-yard line of Graceville, second down and about 3 yards to go.
It's definitely different, but it's been effective. And Peyton again there with a great read option. Sets himself up for a second short.
And this time Peyton hands off to John Metaleska. And he is across the 10, but he's forced back by that stout defensive line of the Graceville Tigers.
And I believe that starts again with number 50, Jarrell Carpenter, 52, to Micah Myrick. Just a couple of strong defensive tackles, and they find John before he's able to pick up too many yards, but not before he's able to pick up the first down. And Metaleska, another great running back that the Gators have as an offensive weapon.
Under 10 minutes, first and goal from the Graceville 8 for the Gators. Peyton hands off to Junior. This time Junior runs into a stone wall of Graceville Tigers. And no gain brings up second down and goal from the 8-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like, again, to Mike Merrick and Jamel Carpenter, they're just getting the better of the Gator O-line on these past couple plays. And that time got in the backfield and found Junior before he's able to get anything
Here's
started.
The score of interest, Seth. In the second, Vernon over Blountstown 6-0.
And Vernon, one of the teams this year that was actually able to kind of hold the Gators to their lowest score, 19-6. So Vernon showing up against Blountstown here.
Junior in motion. And Peyton, it's a high snap over his head. But as a flag comes in, the whistle stops the play. But that's one of the few times we've seen a snap over Peyton's head. But yeah, this is a different formation, Seth, and I'm not sure if I'm explaining it just right. You know, like say Peyton's in shotgun formation, and then he has Metaleska and McLaughlin on either side of him, and one of them usually goes into motion, but it's a different offense. This is against the Gators, so it's 5 yards back to the 13. It's still second down and goal from the 13-yard line.
And I'm sure they'll take that false start as compared to a potentially touchdown scoring fumble.
It may just be prolonging it, though.
Could be.
So now second down and goal, and it's John Mileska in motion, and Peyton throws the ball out to him, but he's brought down quickly. Graceville read that very well, and he's tackled quickly by number 14, that is Jaquez Davis for the Graceville Tigers.
Yeah, he's trying to get Madaleska in the flats after the motion, and like you said, Graceville just read it and hit Madaleska before he has any time to make anything happen. That's going to bring up a third and pretty long, and we'll see what the Gators cook up here.
Yes, third down and goal was back at the 16-yard line. 8:13 to go in the second quarter, and Baker leads at 12-0.
Now look for some play action here, as Peyton Rockwell has a great wide receiver target in that of Brad Inscore, who has great hands, especially down here near the red zone.
Peyton back to pass under pressure, gets it off to Eric McQueen. He's got the ball. He's got the end zone. Touchdown, Baker Gators.
And that time goes to the big defensive end / tight end. And the entire defense bites on the crossing of, I believe, Brad Inscore and his partner Ashton Morrison. And that time McQueen's just running free in the opposite direction. And Rockwell is able to find him, score a touchdown.
Yeah, and a great play by Peyton. He had the defensive tackle for the Graceville Tigers right in his face. I mean, he was breathing down his neck or breathing down, yeah. And Peyton got the ball off to Eric McQueen, and, man, was just a beautiful play from up here. So it's 18-0, and now they're back to the one-point try. Here comes Brian Holly. Peyton this time gets the ball down. The kick is up. It's ugly, but it's good. 7:50 to go in the second quarter. Your score is now Baker 19, Graceville nothing. Back after this.
Hi, this is Tony from Baker Feed and Country Store. The Baker Gator football season is back, and we are proud supporters of WTJT's live Baker Gator football program. Baker Feed and Country Store has all your fall food plot, seed, and fertilizer needs, along with corn, rice bran, pellets, and blocks. We carry Justin boots, belts, wallets, and Wrangler jeans. Baker Feed and Country Store is located on the right at the light in downtown Baker and can be reached by phone 537-1000. Again, that's 537-1000. Go Gators!
And welcome back to Baker. It is Baker 19 and Graceville nothing with 7:50 to go in this second quarter. A 16-yard pass from Peyton Rockwell to Eric McQueen. And the extra point by Holly is good. And the push kick is not so good, goes out of bounds. And Graceville will take over first and 10 from their 40-yard line. Now, Seth, all of these penalties, now, are we including the out of bounds kick?
I haven't been including those. It's not as pertinent, I don't believe, to the Gators' overall, how it impacts them. Because the defense just doesn't seem to care if the opposing offense starts at their own 40 or inside the Gators' territory. They just can't help but stop them. So, I don't really count that. It's more the penalties that have been halting Gator drives, their own holding calls and blocking the backs. And false starts have just been too numerous, and the defense giving up yards to opposing offenses.
So it's first and 10 for Graceville from their 45-yard line. 7:50 to go until the half, and it's Baker 19, Graceville nothing. Baker undefeated, 8 wins, looking for number 9 here tonight. Myrick back to pass, and it's knocked down by the Gators. I believe was that Peyton that knocked that pass down, or Eric McQueen?
Yeah, Eric McQueen.
Yeah,
again.
knocks the ball down, so it's incomplete. Brings up second down and 10.
He's a stout pass rusher coming from that left end position, and then just gets his big hands up there, knocks that ball away. And we'll see how aggressive Graceville decides to get now. Down 19 halfway through this second quarter. We'll see if they start passing a little bit more and try to spread this ball out as they run this spread offense.
Spread formation now. Williams is the quarterback for the Tigers, and Williams is going to keep it. Tries to go somewhere, and he goes right to Joe Brunson. Also tackled by Sean McLeod. Devin Jordan, but nowhere to go for Williams. Cedric Williams, I believe that is.
Correct. And the Gators seem to kind of have a beat on this two-quarterback look. Myrick is more of the passing quarterback, can run a little bit, but Williams is almost 100% run, so the Gators know he's getting the ball, and that time they find him in the backfield before he's able to get going.
Right, he's 5'11" versus 5'6" for Myrick. Again, spread formation, and it's Williams, or Myrick this time. Pitch back to Williams. A flag comes down as Williams gets to the outside, and he's tripped up by Devin Jordan. But that flag thrown from the official in the white hat usually means holding.
And 9 times out of 10, I think that's what we're going to get here, and that's going to bring up a third and much longer.
Looks like the Gators will accept the penalty. There's discussion there with Matt Brunson and the officials.
The run wasn't going to be a first down. It was already third down, so depending on the spot, they are going to decline it and take the fourth down.
But now the Tigers have the ball fourth down, but at their 49. Now you're down 19-0. 7 minutes to go until the half. Looks like they may go for it this time.
They might, but it's one chance to get that first down versus 2 chances had they give them another third down play.
That's exactly correct. Again, spread formation. Looks like Myrick is quarterback this time for the Tigers. There's the snap. Myrick back to pass. He's going to be brought down. Well, no, he's wrapped up by McLeod. He escapes like Houdini, and he's got the first down, Seth, on the far side. So a great little run by Myrick, the 5'6" quarterback, to escape the clutches of the Baker Gators. And a Tiger is down on the far side.
I'm going to draw a comparison some may not like, but fairly accurate. There's another quarterback that made a Houdini move like that a few years ago. One of our favorite former Seminoles kind of reminded me. That was a J-Boo move right there. Just wiggling out of a hit that looked like a definite sack as McLeod just had him seemingly wrapped up. But Myrick just showing that he didn't want to go down, and I believe he got the first down on that fourth down run.
Indeed he did. There's a Tiger down on the far side. We'll take a timeout. 6:33 to go. Baker up 19-0. Back after this.
WTJT and the Baker Gators are proud to recognize Baker Parts in downtown Baker as a sponsor of live coverage of Baker Gator football. Baker Parts has auto parts and hardware for all household needs. Baker Parts is located at 1304 Georgia Avenue in Baker, and their phone number is 537-3131 or 537-4231. Thanks, Danny, and all the staff at Baker Parts for helping to make coverage of Baker Gator football possible on WTJT. WTJT would like to say thank you to the Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union for supporting our coverage of Baker Gator football. Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union offers a wide variety of financial services with 4 locations, including the Baker branch location at the entrance to Baker School next to the Gator Cafe. They can be reached at 850-537-9815 or on the web at OkaloosaFCU.org. You can be a member of the credit union if you live, work, or worship, or attend school in Okaloosa County. For all your financial needs, it's Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union, achieving goals together.
And welcome back to Baker. The injured Tiger was Demicah Myrick. And he does get up and walks off, so that's a good sign. And it's also a good sign for the Tigers. They have a 1st and 10 at the Baker 44-yard line after an impressive run by the quarterback, Anais Myrick. I guess that's how you say that, Seth.
Yes, yeah, and that's a great run by the quarterback converting on 4th down.
A low snap, but Williams picks it up and gets to the Baker 40-yard line before being stopped by the Baker defense. Looks like Devin Jordan leading the charge this time on that tackle.
Williams on another keeper, just heading right up the middle there, following behind some solid blocks by this Graceville offensive line, and he's able to pick up a good 5 yards on 1st down, which is so crucial to have these productive 1st down plays.
A 2nd down and 5 for Graceville from the Baker 39. 5:41 to go in the 2nd quarter. And Myrick hands off to his running back, and he finds a little bit of running room. Now the ball is stripped by Kenny Williams, and Kenny going the other way if the official will get out of his way, and brought down by Myrick inside the 25-yard line. What a play by Kenny Williams. Just strips the ball from the Graceville running back and takes it about 30-plus yards inside the 25-yard line. Yeah, the official in the white hat was trying to get out of Kenny's way, and Kenny was just using him for a blocker, looked like. But what a run by Kenny Williams.
That's just like your lead blocker to get in your way and trip you up right there at the end of what might have been a fumble return for a touchdown. But Graceville trying to run a little jet sweep there, and Kenny Williams just showing absolute brutal strength, rips it away, takes it back to the other end, and Gators set up with some of the best field position you can ever ask for as an offense.
But back to the official in the white hat, he was pretty fast.
He was pretty fast, yeah.
Very fast.
You'd be moving fast, too, to get out of Kenny Williams' way.
I believe so. Well, a timeout has been taken. Just a lot going on right now. But it's 1st and 10, Baker inside the 25-yard line. 5:21 to go until the half. Baker on top, 19-0 back after this.
Thank you, Brackney Funeral Service in Crestview, for your support. Brackney Funeral Service is located on Highway 90 East. They are locally owned and operated and provide all the traditional funeral services, including burials and cremations. And the telephone number is 683-9898, 683-9898. Terry Brackney is the funeral director. Again, thanks, Terry and Brackney Funeral Service for giving to WTJT.
And welcome back to Baker High School. After a turnover, courtesy of Kenny Williams, I guess that's a turnover. It wasn't a fumble ball, but more like stripped the ball, best I could tell.
It's still a forced fumble, and I'm sure Kenny Williams will be happy to add that stat to his impressive resume this season.
But it's now 1st and 10, Baker. A ball at about the 24 or 23-yard line of Graceville. Peyton Rockwell hands off to Junior McLaughlin, right side. Junior trying to find somewhere, and he's finally getting downfield. Had some help there from one of his offensive linemen, and it's brought down for a tackle by Graceville about the 11-yard line.
Yeah, that was the nose guard, Darian Perry. He's able to follow Junior, but Junior with another great run. He's able to get outside, find some space, go up that sideline, and then pick up another first down. And now it looks like they're going to have 1st and 10 from about the 15 or so.
Well, Taylor Barrow was trying to help Junior get down the sideline there and picks up the first down. Again, Peyton hands off to Junior. Quarterback keeper Peyton keeps the ball this time, and he is brought down hard across the 5-yard line. But about a 6 or 7-yard run there for Peyton Rockwell.
That's another read option read well by Peyton. He sees how the defensive end collapses on Junior, and then he just pulls it out, takes it up the opposite side, and is able to pick up a solid yardage on first down, about 9 yards.
2nd down, 1 for the Gators. Junior McLaughlin gets the handoff this time, and Junior stopped just shy of the goal line. 4:35 to go until the half. Baker leads at 19-0. They're about a yard shy from increasing that lead.
Another good run by Junior, and that's going to give him a fresh set of downs here with only about a yard or two to go into the end zone.
Peyton Rockwell comes to the sideline, now goes back out into the huddle. Ashton Morrison goes wide right, along with Trey Colmes. To the left is Inscore and McQueen. And Peyton, quarterback keeper, dives straight ahead. Touchdown, Baker Gators.
And Peyton says, I've been contributing all game with some great runs. I'll take it in myself this time. And just a simple quarterback sneak right into the heart of that Graceville defense, and the Gator line won that time. Peyton's going to add another touchdown.
Yeah, so that's 4 touchdowns, 4 different players. McLeod, McQueen, McLaughlin, and McRockwell.
And, you know, if you like variety, you're getting some variety tonight.
That's true.
They're very interesting. I had noticed that. McLeod, McQueen, McLaughlin, and now McRockwell. I like
McRockwell,
that.
yeah.
I'm sure he'll love that.
And now McCauley for the extra point. Now that's a pretty kick. It is end over end through the uprights, and it's good. 4:07 to go until the half. Our score is now Baker 26 and Graceville nothing back after this.
One of our sponsors this year for our live coverage of Baker Gator varsity football is Wise Equipment in Crestview. Wise Equipment specializes in sales and services of Kubota and John Deere mowers and tractors. They carry Steel and John Deere chainsaws, line trimmers, and blowers. Plus, they have John Deere toys. All products are backed by a manufacturer's warranty. Wise Equipment is located at 1147 South Verdon Boulevard in Crestview and can be reached at 850-682-3366.
And welcome back to Baker. It is Baker 26 and Graceville nothing after a 1-yard dive by Peyton Rockwell. And now Brian Holly set for the kickoff. So far it's been four pooch kicks, including the opening kickoff. And this time he looks to kick it straight away, and he does. And it sails right to the Graceville. That's number 11 for the Tigers. That's Pollux. And he has brought down hard.
That's Seth Blahuda coming in.
Actually, that's Shane White.
Was it Shane? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Shane White, number 34, he just puts a tattoo on the Sean Pollux back about the 10-yard line. And Seth, this is one of those times we actually saw Brian Holly kick away, and a pretty good leg, pretty good distance.
Like I said, when he gets a chance to kick it deep, he is more than capable, and he has some fast guys gunning down there, and Shane White coming up with a great tackle, and that's going to pin the Tigers pretty deep in their own territory.
Yeah, 1st and 10 from their 10. It looks like Myrick, quarterback, spread formation for the Tigers. Throws it quickly out to his receiver, hits him right in the hands, and then it goes right to the ground. Incomplete pass. Will bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Tigers. Yes. And that was intended for, I believe that was Lamont Hopkins. And goes incomplete. 3:54 to go until the half, and it's 26-0 Baker on top. Baker looking to finish undefeated for the 3rd straight season. Regular season, let me emphasize that, regular season.
Correct.
And well on their way thus far. So once again, spread formation for the Tigers. And Myrick, quarterback keeper, bounces back inside. And he is wrapped up by Carter Mason after a short gain of about 3 yards. We go 3rd down and 7. And Seth, the temp is now 49 degrees here in Baker.
It feels like fall.
It feels like it took us through September and October to get here, but here is the first Friday in November, and it's 49 degrees on a Friday night in
Comes
Baker.
With the territory of being in Baker, Florida.
Yep. Clock running, 3:19 to go until halftime. Again, spread formation for the Tigers. Myrick is the quarterback, back to pass, gets a little screen pass, drops off to his running back who slips. But that's actually Williams, slips down at the 10. And loses a couple of yards. That's going to be now 4th and about 9 for the for the Tigers back at their 11.
And once again, the home turf working for the home team. He's able to pull down Williams. It's a good setup on the screen, and Williams looks like he's actually going to have some space, maybe pick up close to a 1st down, but just can't quite keep his feet.
Junior back at the 45. And another dangerous punt situation for the Tigers. And back to punt is Charlie Nichols, standing actually in the end zone for this punt.
Let's see if the Gators come after this one.
And it's another decent punt. Junior fields it at the 42-yard line. He's to the 30, the 25. He leaps and is knocked out of bounds. Try to leap over a defender and gets knocked out of bounds, and he's okay. He bounces right back up, but gets to about the 20-yard line, and it's going to be another great field position for the Gators inside Graceville territory.
It looked like Deshaun Pollux had a bead on McLaughlin. He was coming straight for him. McLaughlin just sidesteps that hit and takes it up the sideline. Like you said, makes a great hurdle and comes right back down, but another great return from Junior, setting up his offense for potentially another quick score here before the half.
Yeah, 2:11 to go until the half. It's Baker 26, Graceville nothing. A Tiger timeout. Back after this.
We are proud to acknowledge the support of Whitehurst Powell Funeral Home in Crestview. They are a family-owned and operated funeral home, open 7 days a week, and can handle all funeral needs. Plus, they offer advanced planning. Whitehurst Powell is also home to the Southern Heritage Crematory. They are located at 436 James Lee Boulevard, and the phone number is 850-682-3052. Owner Andy Powell is committed to caring for you in your time of need, and is also proud to help make coverage of Baker Gator football possible.
And welcome back to Baker. Baker 26, Graceville nothing, 2:11 in the second quarter, and the Gators have the ball 1st and 10 at the Graceville 22-yard line. Now Garrett Mitchum in at fullback for the Gators. Peyton Rockwell back to pass. Good protection. And throws it shy of McLaughlin, almost picked off by Cedric Williams. Falls incomplete. Brings up 2nd down 10 for the Gators.
He would have had McLaughlin on a skinny post there, but just woefully underthrows him. And like you said, almost picked off there. But I like that play call a lot. Finally getting Peyton Rockwell some reps, throwing through the air, setting them up for something they may have to do a little bit more of in the playoffs.
When you had his season stats, I don't recall the exact completion, but one of the stats that you told me earlier was he has more picks than touchdowns.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a 4-3 ratio, interceptions to touchdowns, and we'll see if he can break even tonight, possibly get another passing touchdown, but they're going to have a lot of ground to cover here after the penalty.
Yeah, personal foul, 15-yard penalty back to the 37. Handoff to Junior. And he's going to pick up that and then some. He's to the 15, the 10, the 5, and he stopped just shy of the goal line. Brought down by number 20 for the Graceville Tigers. And it's a 1st and goal for Baker at the Graceville 2-yard line.
And you know what? Give it to tried and true. Let Junior McLaughlin take it. And like I mentioned something to you earlier before this game, getting into what we'd consider passing situations, and a 1st and 25 seems like a passing situation to most people, but not to the Baker Gators. Not when you have number 2 in the backfield for you.
Number 2 is definitely number 1 on the field. A minute 55 to go, and it's again Junior. Bounce to the outside, leaps into the end zone. Touchdown, Baker Gators. And they go up 32-0. With a $1:52 to go until the half. So Junior, that's his 2nd TD of the night. And the Gators up top now 32-0.
And again, Junior McLaughlin just right there getting to finish what he started. Adds another touchdown to his 20 on the season.
And now Brian Holly on for the extra point. The center is Dustin Oglesby, and the holder is Peyton Rockwell. And Peyton gets the ball down. It's almost blocked, but he gets it through, and it's good. So our score now is Baker 33, Graceville nothing. Back after this.
WTJT would like to thank Harris Fence of Baker, Florida for their support of WTJT and live coverage of Baker Gator football. Harris Fence offers a wide range of fencing services and supplies which include chain link, galvanized or vinyl coated, wood, privacy or picket, PVC, privacy, 3-rail, etc., and ornamental aluminum. They also offer various styles and brands. They do residential, commercial, and industrial work as well as offer free estimates and military and senior citizen discounts. Harris Fence is fully licensed and insured, and they have been serving Okaloosa, Walton, and Santa Rosa County for 21 years with 35 years experience. They are also a member of the Better Business Bureau. Harris Fence is located at 1588 Garrett Mill Road in Baker, Florida, and they can also be contacted by phone at 537-6169. Thanks again to Harris Fence and James and Rebecca Harris for your support of WTJT and our local football team.
And welcome back to Baker, and this time another straight kick by Brian Holly. This sails into the end zone, so Tigers have the ball 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
I like Holly getting to show off his leg. Also something they might be prepping for as they move into the playoffs, letting Holly kick deep a little bit more and try to get that ball into the end zone, give teams less good field position.
That's a good point. A minute 52 until the half. It's Baker 33, Graceville nothing. 2 shutouts already this year. Could be a possible third, depending on the second half.
We won't count our chickens just yet. There's still 2 quarters of football to play.
Exactly. And now another new quarterback in the backfield. And pass is incomplete as he throws it out to his receiver. Falls just shy. Brings up 2nd down 10 for the Tigers. So now they have had 3 different quarterbacks. They've been alternating between Myrick and Williams. Now they bring in a new one. I believe that may be Sasser.
Yeah, I believe you're right. That might be Ryder Sasser coming in and seeing what he can do for this Graceville offense.
Well, it's been a tough year for Graceville. I know Graceville, they've had some great teams in the past, and this has just been a down year, as you said earlier, just a down year for the Tigers. Again, spread formation. Sasser is back at quarterback. Tall young man looking to pass. He's being pursued. He avoids one tackle. Now he's going to go out of bounds, and he's hit out of bounds by Devin Jordan, and a flag comes in. And hate to see that, but it is a late hit out of bounds against the Gators.
Yeah, it was obviously late there, unfortunately. Devin Jordan just makes an unwise decision there to hit the quarterback a little bit too late, and that's going to give him 15 yards. And with a minute and a half, 15 yards close to midfield, Graceville has a chance to put some points on the board.
Yeah, minute 35 until the half. Baker on top, 33-0. And it's the Tigers' 1st and 10 from their 41-yard line. Yeah, I think he may have tried to pull up there at the end, but just couldn't stop soon enough, and it draws the flag. It's a 1st and 10, Graceville from their 41. A minute 35 until the half. Sasser now quarterback, spread formation. Low snap, picks it up, goes to the air. It's a wobbly pass, overthrows his intended receiver, brings up 2nd down and 10 for the Tigers.
And luckily he overthrows that, as Brad Inscore and Kenny Williams were both in the vicinity, just out of reach. But those are guys you definitely don't want to overthrow or underthrow near.
So 2nd down 10, a minute 29 until the half. And Baker leads it 33-0. And there are a few fans across the way from Graceville, made that drive from Graceville. A couple of dozen or so, and the band as well. Sasser under pressure, and now on the ground. Joe Brunson making the tackle on Sasser back about the 38-yard line, or excuse me, 30-yard line.
Good to see Joe Brunson coming in, making his presence known, let the quarterback know, hey, these other guys will hit you, but I'm here as well. That time he plants the quarterback, and that's a stout loss. That's going to bring up a 3rd and a good mile.
Yeah, 3rd down and about 21 to go now for the Tigers back at their 30-yard line. And that's been their problem all night. It seems like, say, if they'll have a good drive going, they'll have a sudden either a penalty or, a sack for a loss. And that's what it is now. 45 seconds. Sasser trying to throw, and he's going to be brought down again. Ball comes loose and picked up by the Gators. It is a fumble. And Devin Jordan recovers for the Gators back about the 15-yard line.
Another sack, and it looked like McLeod, Brunson, and McQueen were all immediately in his face. The offensive line just could not get any grip to block. Quarterback had no time, and they're going to get credited with a strip sack there. Now the Gators will take over again, and I'm sure they'll try to put up one more touchdown here with about 30 seconds to go in all 3 of their timeouts.
Well, to quote, I believe it's Martha and the Mandelas, nowhere to run. From the 60s, nowhere to run.
That's accurate. That's apropos for this situation.
1st and 10, Baker, ball at the 15-yard line, and now it looks like Sam Croson will quarterback for the Gators. 37 seconds left until halftime, and it's Baker on top, 33-0. Trey Coleman in motion. Joe Brunson with a handoff. He can tackle and he can run. And Joe Brunson out to about the 6-yard line. Brings up 2nd down.
Looks like they're not going to elect to use their timeouts, but will hurry back up to the line. And try to score quickly with about 20 seconds as the clock runs.
Yeah, 2nd down 4 from about the 6. In motion is Trey Colmez, and Joe Brunson again with a handoff. And Joe Brunson into the end zone. Touchdown, Baker Gators with 8 seconds to play. And Baker goes up by 39-0.
And Joe says, don't waste the timeouts. I don't need them. Just let me have the ball again before that clock runs out.
Well, I guess he felt like he deserved it since he made the sack earlier on this drive, or the previous drive, and Joe Brunson scores.
Important to mention, Joe is only a sophomore. The Gators are going to have him for 2 more seasons. He's the leading tackler and also one of the several running backs that the Gators have to choose from. So some great promise. Looking forward to seeing him over the next couple years.
Now the extra point by Brian Holly. He nails it. That kick is perfect, and the Gators go up 40-0. 8 seconds left until the half. It's Baker 40 and Graceville 0. Back after this.
This radio ministry relies heavily upon its gracious supporters to survive, like Days Tire Pros in Crestview. In addition to tires with a national warranty, they have a complete car care center, providing brake jobs, front end and rear end alignments, oil change, lube and filter, shocks, belts, air conditioning, and so much more. Days is located where they've been for nearly 4 decades of service on Highway 85 South, which is also home to Pack Rat Mini Storage. The phone number, 850-682-5088. Thanks, Kim and staff, for your support. Days Tire Pros, home of the hassle-free guarantee.
And we'll come back to Baker, and I forgot to mention this earlier, Seth, but Navarre is leading Niceville 21-0.
Wow.
It's kind of a surprise because Niceville is good, but Navarre is pretty good themselves.
Well, actually, Crestview beat Niceville the other night in that district rivalry game, so Niceville struggling a little bit in the latter half of this season, and Navarre just really having their way with them tonight.
Yeah, Crestview, I believe that was like 63-33 over Niceville last Friday.
A big win.
It was back and forth earlier in the game, then Crestview just pulled away and really just took Niceville to town on that one. The Gators were offsides on the kick, so they'll be penalized 5 yards, and now Brian Holly will kick from the 35-yard line. 8 seconds to go until the half. It's Baker 40, a commanding 40-0 lead over the Graceville Tigers. But now you got to admire the spunk in these Graceville Tigers. They're still playing hard as they can. And this one goes to about the 5-yard line. Graceville returning the ball to about the 25, and tackle is made by Seth Blahuda as the clock runs out. So at the half, there's a Tiger injured, and it's Baker 40 and Graceville 0, but nice helped up to his feet, but what a hit by Seth Blahuda on the kickoff return. It's halftime. Our score is Baker 40 and Graceville 0. We'll take a break and be back after this.
Milligan Assembly of God is a proud sponsor of Baker Gator football. Our service times are on Sundays at 9:30 for Sunday school, 10:30 for morning worship, and 6 p.m. for Sunday night explosion. Our midweek service is on Wednesday nights starting at 7 p.m., and there's something for every age group of the family. You can connect with us at mag.church, and you can check us out on Facebook. From Pastor Mike White and the congregation of Milligan Assembly of God, we want to say,
Go Gators, yeah!
WTJT would like to send a special thanks to CCSI of Crestview, Florida. It's businesses like you, through all your support, that makes this live coverage of the Baker Gators Friday Night Football possible.
WTJT would like to thank Jason Norton and Baker Metalworks for allowing us to bring live Baker Gator football coverage to the listeners of WTJT. Baker Metalworks offers a large variety of colors, and they are all Energy Star rated. They have 4 profile styles with 29 and 26 gauge. They also have delivery available, and all of their materials are Florida product approved. Baker Metalworks is located at 5846 Highway 189 in Baker. They can be reached by phone at 850-537-2010. Thanks again to Baker Metalworks for all of your support here at WTJT.
Hi, this is Tony from Baker Feed and Country Store. The Baker Gator football season is back, and we are proud supporters of WTJT's live Baker Gator football program. Baker Feed and Country Store has all your fall food plot, seed, and fertilizer needs, along with corn, rice bran, pellets, and blocks. We carry Justin boots, belts, wallets, and Wrangler jeans. Baker Feed and Country Store is located on the right at the light in downtown Baker and can be reached by phone 537-1000. Again, that's 537-1000. Go Gators!
WTJT and the Baker Gators are proud to recognize Baker Parts in downtown Baker as a sponsor of live coverage of Baker Gator football. Baker Parts has auto parts and hardware for all household needs. Baker Parts is located at 1304 Georgia Avenue in Baker, and their phone number is 537-3131 or 537-4231. Thanks, Danny, and all the staff at Baker Parts for helping to make coverage of Baker Gator football possible on WTJT.
And welcome back to Baker. It is halftime. The halftime score is Baker 40 and Graceville nothing.
Baker football is a production of Jock Jive Sports. This fall on jockjive.com, Georgia Military College football, SIAC football, the Great American Rivalries, ACCC Game of the Week, SWAC volleyball and soccer, Tuskegee football, Navarre and Baker football, and much, much more. Be sure to follow Jock Jive on Twitter and Facebook. On Twitter, we're at JockJive, and on Facebook, simply put Jock Jive Sports in the search engine. We give you scores, schedules, game highlights, event updates, and more. Twitter and Facebook, a great way to keep up with Jock Jive Sports.
And thanks a lot, Seth. Baker 40, Graceville nothing. Coach Brunson is 8-1 against the Tigers and looks to go 9-1 against the Tigers. And talk about the playoffs next week, Seth. Talking to Coach Brunson, now he said if they win tonight, they will host 4 rounds in the playoffs if they keep winning. They have the highest point total of Region 1 and 2, and the playoff games, now they will start at 7:30 instead of 7. So, that's going to be interesting to find out next week. Not sure who the opponent is yet, at least I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. But just want to mention that one more time. If they win tonight, they will have 3 straight seasons, regular seasons of undefeated record. The last time they did that was back in 83, 84, 85, the same years they won state championships. Now, they did play for a state championship 2 years ago, lost to Pahokee. Very close game, but who knows this year? We'll wait and see. And also this senior class, 34-1 overall since, for the past 3 years. So that's pretty impressive as well. Now, earlier you had some keys to the game you want to discuss. Let's see how that has panned out so far.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's one of my favorite things to look at because we can really see how well things played out in relation to these keys to success. So, number one for the Gators, as always, number one, week in, week out, is getting the ball to McLaughlin. Some things never change, and they never should change. One of those things is handing the ball off to number one. So McLaughlin has 58% of the team's offensive yards and 64% of their touchdowns. He's also produced 124 yards and 2 touchdowns on special teams to boot. Now, when it comes to offensive production and playmaking ability, they don't come much better than Junior. And tonight, he showed that once again, already 2 touchdowns on the ground and a couple of good punt returns on special teams. Number 2 for the Gators, stop taking so many penalties. Some things haven't changed, and they need to change. And this is the one thing that the Gators really have to work on going into the playoffs, and it's something that just really hasn't changed over the last, actually, 8 now. This will be the 8th played game. The Gators have well over 50 penalties, over 300 yards we mentioned earlier. And this is the final game of the regular season, but it's also a practice for the playoffs for them. They're getting ready to go into what's going to be some stiffer competition, so they really need to eliminate some of these discipline issues that have halted drives and given away points and continued drives on the opposing team's offense if they want to continue their state run. Number 3, protect the rock. All season, the Gators' success has really hinged on the offense's ability to keep the ball by limiting their own turnovers and putting together long, productive drives, while also forcing turnovers on defense, which they've done several times tonight. So as long as they continue this trend of offensive time-consuming possessions and the defense continues to steal possessions as they've done, I don't think they're going to have any trouble the rest of the night, obviously with a 40-0 lead. And number 4, and finally, and something that we have really got to see, and I'm really glad to see it, is find a way to pass. So there's no question Baker's going to the playoffs. It's already set in stone. That's going to start in a couple weeks. I don't believe next week, but the week after, correct?
I thought it would be this week.
It may be this week.
Yeah, I think so.
It might be.
Yeah.
So coming up shortly. So with their talent and prowess, they've got a good chance at going to state, actually getting back to the state championship this year. But it's time to get that variety, and variety comes in the form of passing. So an advantage of their strong run game is that it sets up the play-action pass. And now that we've got to see that tonight, Rockwell needs to continue to get some touches through the air and to really add the variety to the offense as the competition stiffens. And as tonight when Graceville was starting to close it on the run a little bit, temporarily, because you can only hold Junior for so long. He's just such an unstoppable force. When they were throwing through the air a little bit, we got to see Rockwell with some great throws to his tight end, McQueen, and score a touchdown on it. Now, for Graceville, number one key, and this has been the number one key week in and week out. I hate to keep harping on it, but there's really nothing else that's as important as containing Junior McLaughlin if you're the opposing team. If they don't stop him early, which they haven't been able to, I kind of prophesied that this game could be over by halftime. I wrote this today, so I'm not making this up as I go. This already happened at halftime. The Gators up 40-0 just because they weren't able to stop Junior, and they also made some pretty costly mistakes with a blocked punt, turning the ball over with some fumbles. But with this Gator offense just being so strong, it's so hard to stop them. And if you don't stop their number one playmaker early and often, they're going to make you pay, and they already have tonight. And number 2, and something that they can possibly build on in the second half, is force their own turnovers. They haven't got the Gators to turn the ball over just yet, but they have forced them into some third and long situations, which the Gators were able to get out of. But the teams that have had success against them, Vernon and South Walton, early on, they've been able to do these things successfully, but they've only been able to maintain that for a half. Graceville not really being able to get started holding back the Gator offense tonight. So if they want to keep this game close and respectable in the second half, they're really just going to have to find a way to force some turnovers and halt these Gator drives. Number 3, exploit any weaknesses and make some adjustments. It's halftime now. This is the time where they're going to have to make some adjustments. Now they've seen just how powerful and potent this Gator offense is and how really hard to move against the Gator defense is. So it's time for the coaches to really try to make some adjustments wherever they can, find any weaknesses and exploit those to put up some points and at least make this game close in the second half. And 4th and finally is win the trenches. So the war on the O-line and the D-line has to be won before any game can be won. Graceville has to block well against this scary, fast defense of the Gators, and really they haven't tonight, as the Gators have already racked up about 4 sacks from 4 different players. They're just in the backfield too fast. This defensive line has just been too much for the Tiger offense to handle. So in passing situations, they're going to have to bring in an extra back or an extra tight end, anything they can to keep the likes of Joe Brunson, Eric McQueen, Sean McLeod out of their backfield and give their quarterback some time. They blitz often and they blitz hard. So Graceville in the second half is just going to have to find a way to keep their quarterback upright and give him time to make some good throws. And we've already seen now that the Graceville defensive line and their offensive line are wearing out before the Gators' offensive and defensive line have.
That's some excellent points you made, Seth. Excellent points. And it's still, of all the things you've said, the thing that still just amazes me is that for the number of penalties that Baker has, they are their own worst enemy. Mm-hmm. So far, they have not fallen behind at all this season. They've been tied or, be ahead by a point, but they have not trailed at all this season. But the penalties, most teams with that number of penalties would not win this many games. No. But yet, somehow Baker's been blessed that they just keep on winning.
And tonight they're winning the penalty battle. If winning means having more penalties, they've got 7 to Graceville's 5. So really kind of a lot of penalties in that first half from both teams, but the Gators still winning that battle as they continue to get penalized. Hopefully they'll really be able to start working out these issues before next week.
Hopefully so. It is halftime from Baker, Florida, and at halftime the Baker Gators lead the Graceville Tigers 40-0. We'll take another break and be right back after this.
WTJT would like to say thank you to the Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union for supporting our coverage of Baker Gator football. Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union offers a wide variety of financial services with 4 locations, including the Baker branch location at the entrance to Baker School next to the Gator Cafe. They can be reached at 850-537-9815 or on the web at OkaloosaFCU.org. You can be a member of the credit union if you live, work, or worship, or attend school in Okaloosa County. For all your financial needs, it's Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union. Achieving goals together.
Thank you, Brackney Funeral Service in Crestview, for your support. Brackney Funeral Service is located on Highway 90 East. They are locally owned and operated and provide all the traditional funeral services, including burials and cremations. And the telephone number is 683-9898, 683-9898. Terry Brackney is the funeral director. Again, thanks, Terry and Brackney Funeral Service for giving to WTJT.
One of our sponsors this year for our live coverage of Baker Gator varsity football is Wise Equipment in Crestview. Wise Equipment specializes in sales and services of Kubota and John Deere mowers and tractors. They carry Steel and John Deere chainsaws, line trimmers, and blowers. Plus, they have John Deere toys. All products are backed by a manufacturer's warranty. Wise Equipment is located at 1147 South Verdon Boulevard in Crestview and can be reached at 850-682-3366.
We are proud to acknowledge the support of Whitehurst Powell Funeral Home in Crestview. They are a family-owned and operated funeral home, open 7 days a week, and can handle all funeral needs. Plus, they offer advanced planning. Whitehurst Powell is also home to the Southern Heritage Crematory. They are located at 436 James Lee Boulevard, and the phone number is 850-682-3052. Owner Andy Powell is committed to caring for you in your time of need, and is also proud to help make coverage of Baker Gator football possible.
And welcome back to Baker. Baker 40 and Graceville nothing at the half. And this is how Baker scored. They scored early on a blocked punt return for a touchdown by Sean McLeod as a bad snap. Then Junior McLaughlin, a 53-yard touchdown run. The 2-point conversion was no good. It was 12-0 Baker. Then a 28-yard pass from Rockwell to McQueen. The PAT was good. On their 4th touchdown, a 1-yard dive by Peyton Rockwell. And then later, another 1-yard run by Junior McLaughlin. And the last touchdown was a 6-yard burst by Joe Brunson. And the Gators lead at 40-0. So, Seth, 6 touchdowns and 5 different people to score. So they're kind of spreading the love around, letting these players score. And now at this point, you're seeing some of the younger players come in, a chance to play.
Yeah, and it's good that they have so many weapons offensively to choose from. When you have so many guys with such great skill and talent, you can really spread the love, as you said. And now guys like Sam Croson are going to get to come in and hopefully put up some stats themselves.
Indeed. And now earlier in halftime, the Graceville band was playing, and the PA announcer made the point that Graceville also one of those areas that was devastated and a lot of destruction and damage over there from Hurricane Michael. We know Chipley was, Bay County, definitely Panama City, all the way down to Tallahassee and Apalachicola. But a lot of the homes were damaged or destroyed over there in the Graceville area. So, certainly still, even though it's been almost a month later, still our hearts, our thoughts, our prayers go to these folks because, we've been through some of these back when Ivan hit back in 2004, and there's no comparison what this one. This is one of the 3rd strongest hurricanes to hit the states. So it's just, a lot of folks still recuperating. Yeah. But it was good to hear that Chipley is back playing ball tonight. And the last score we had, they were winning over, I believe it was Holmes County, 10-0. And also another score we had, I believe now that, well, let me double check this real quick, Seth. I know this is unprofessional, but yeah, Vernon over Bluntstown, 12-0 at the half. But anyway, just please continue to support these areas that have been hit. Life has not got back to normal for some of these communities, a lot of these folks, so they still need your help. So let's keep these folks in our thoughts and prayers as well.
Absolutely.
Anyway, next week does begin the playoffs, and I mentioned from what I was told by Coach Brunson that as long as Baker keeps winning, they will host each game they play, if I understood him correctly, which that would be great news for us and for the fans as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So looking forward to that. It is halftime. Baker leads at 40-0. We'll take another break and be right back after this.
WTJT would like to thank Harris Fence of Baker, Florida for their support of WTJT and live coverage of Baker Gator football. Harris Fence offers a wide range of fencing services and supplies which include chain link, galvanized or vinyl coated, wood, privacy or picket, PVC, privacy, 3-rail, etc., and ornamental aluminum. They also offer various styles and brands. They do residential, commercial, and industrial work as well as offer free estimates and military and senior citizen discounts. Harris Fence is fully licensed and insured, and they have been serving Okaloosa, Walton, and Santa Rosa County for 21 years with 35 years experience. They are also a member of the Better Business Bureau. Harris Fence is located at 1588 Garrett Mill Road in Baker, Florida, and they can also be contacted by phone at 537-6169. Thanks again to Harris Fence and James and Rebecca Harris for your support of WTJT and our local football team.
This radio ministry relies heavily upon its gracious supporters to survive, like Days Tire Pros in Crestview. In addition to tires with a national warranty, they have a complete car care center, providing brake jobs, front end and rear end alignments, oil change, lube and filter, shocks, belts, air conditioning, and so much more. Days is located where they've been for nearly 4 decades of service on Highway 85 South, which is also home to Pack Rat Mini Storage. The phone number, 850-682-5088. Thanks, Kim and staff, for your support. Days Tire Pros, home of the hassle-free guarantee.
Milligan Assembly of God is a proud sponsor of Baker Gator football. Our service times are on Sundays at 9:30 for Sunday school, 10:30 for morning worship, and 6 p.m. for Sunday night explosion. Our midweek service is on Wednesday nights starting at 7 p.m. and there's something for every age group of the family. You can connect with us at mag.church. And you can check us out on Facebook. From Pastor Mike White and the congregation of Milligan Assembly of God, we want to say,
Go Gators, yeah!
WTJT would like to send a special thanks to CCSI of Crestview, Florida. It's businesses like you through all your support that makes this live coverage of the Baker Gators Friday Night Football possible.
And welcome back to Baker. It is halftime. Baker 40, Graceville nothing. And Seth, real quick, you got some season stats there for us, right?
Well, I just wanted to mention, as we were talking about the younger players getting to come in, guys like Sam Croson, John Netaleska, Trey Colmetz, and Joe Brunson, several guys. So Croson on the year has been great as a backup quarterback, 7 for 9 through the air, 122 yards, a touchdown, and also on the ground, 9 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown. And then the likes of Colmetz in the backfield, 21 carries, 108 yards, and a touchdown. And his counterpart, Mataleska, 12 carries for 147 yards and a couple of touchdowns as well. And also just want to give a shout-out to this starting offensive line that we'll probably not see as much action in the second half, but the left tackle, Taylor Barrow, the left guard, Carter Mason, center, Dustin Oglesby, right guard, Gavin Vaccarello, and right tackle, Zach Mason, just have done an impressive job all season and started out great in this game tonight, giving Junior plenty of holes to run through, and also the quarterbacks as well to score some touchdowns and put up some great points. So everything starts with your offensive line, and Baker has a great one to run and pass behind.
And now we start the third quarter with Graceville kicking off to Baker. And ball is picked up by, I believe that's Joe Brunson takes the ball and brings it back to about the 42-yard line. For the first time we've seen Graceville kick off tonight.
And maybe the last. I'm sorry. I don't mean to say that. But no, and another good return by Joe Brunson, and the Gator offense will have good starting field position.
1st and 10 for Baker from their 42-yard line, just underway in the third quarter. I believe now, Seth, a running clock is in progress. And Sam Croson is your new quarterback. In motion is Trey Colmetz. Handoff goes to John Malaska, reverses field, and he's brought down quickly about the 44-yard line by the Graceville defense.
John Mataleska with good vision, doesn't like what he sees as he tries to run up that left side, cuts back in. Still not able to find much room before Graceville is able to wrap him up for a short gain.
Yeah, tackle made by Luke Blackman for the Graceville Tigers. 2-yard pickup brings up 2nd down 8 from the 44-yard line. 10:38 to go in the third quarter. Again, Sam Croson in the shotgun formation. In motion is Mataleska, and handoff goes to Trey Colmetz. He busts the outside, cuts it back inside, and runs into a den of Tigers there near the 50-yard line. Brings up 3rd down for the Gators.
Another good run from Trey Colmetz this time, and now they've got this dual threat 1-2 punch from Mataleska and Trey Colmetz, both great backs. And that time Colmetz gets it up the middle, finds some space, and is going to give a 3rd and short to this offense.
Yeah, 3rd down and 3 for the Gators. And Sam Croson now looking to the sideline. Play clock to 10. Getting some instruction from Coach Matt Brunson. In motion goes Trey Colmetz. And to the air goes Croson, hits Colmetz. And Colmetz turns it upfield, and he's across the 50 to the 45-yard line before being brought down by several Tigers about the 45.
And Colmetz with a little wide receiver screen there is able to find some space, makes one guy miss, and then just takes it up the sideline and picks up a 1st down.
Yeah, indeed. That was really just a great run by Trey Colmetz. Picks up about 8 yards on the run, and it's 1st and 10 Baker at the 45. Clock showing 9 minutes to go in this third quarter. Garrett Mitchum in at fullback for the Gators. In motion is Mataleska. And Croson hands off to Trey Colmetz, who runs and stops. A little stutter step there. Then he's across the 40-yard line before being tackled by the Tigers.
And I like Colmetz's patience there. He gets behind his O-line, waits for a good block, and follows behind. He's able to find a little bit of running room up the gut there. Pick up a good 5 yards before he's upended.
Yeah, 2nd down 5 for Baker from the 40-yard line of the Tigers. 8:31 to go in the third quarter. Baker 40 and Graceville nothing. Now have a Tiger running off the field. Play clock down to 4. And okay, now they've reset the play clock to 25, giving Graceville a chance to substitute players.
Correct.
And now here we go. Sam Croson remains quarterback. In the backfield is Mataleska. And Colmetz goes into motion. And handoff goes to John Mataleska. And he finds some running room. He's across the 30-yard line. A nice run and a 1st down run for the Baker Gators.
Mataleska, again, just a powerful runner. Goes right up the middle there, almost untouched until he gets in the secondary and finds Myrick, the safety, who brings him down, but not before he picks up that 1st.
Yeah, 1st and 10 Baker. Ball at the Graceville 30-yard line. 7:50 to go in the third quarter. And now Jack Adams in the backfield. Sam Croson remains quarterback. And it's Trey Coleman. Oh, quarterback keeper. He bootlegged it. Now throws the ball downfield. Intercepted by Graceville. And I believe that's Williams who moves the interception. And he gets back to about the 40-yard line. So a pass there by Sam Croson, intercepted by the Tigers. And that stops a potential touchdown drive by the Gators.
Yeah, that time Croson's trying to work a little play-action bootleg as he's running out. He's running to the left, so he has to throw back across his body, and that time trying to throw it back over the middle. He's just not quite able to find his man, and instead finds a Tiger. And that's going to be the first turnover of the night for the Gators and Sam Croson's first interception of the season.
1st and 10, Graceville. Ball placed at their 38-yard line, and the clock does stop at 6:58 on this turnover. And kind of a ill-advised pass there possibly by Sam Croson, but I don't, no harm done. I believe the defense will step up and stop the Tigers here. There's a timeout on the field, but we'll just keep it right here, Seth, momentarily.
Yeah, I believe Graceville took a timeout.
Looks like most of the starting defense is still on the field at this moment. I'm sure Baker would love to preserve the shutout. They have 2 thus far this season, Holmes County and Jay. And looking for a 3rd one.
And as we mentioned, tonight's kind of a practice, too, for the Gators, so you want to keep your starters out there and let them continue to work through and continue to get ready for next week.
Looks like Cedric Williams is now back at quarterback for the Tigers. They have this in the spread formation. And handoff goes to Myrick. He loses the ball.
And the Gators recover.
And I think that might have been Trey Colmes possibly on the recovery. So just kind of a couple of turnovers there back to back.
Quick turnaround.
Yeah. So the Gators take the ball right back over at the Graceville 40-yard line. 6:21 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Important to mention, that's the same play that they ran earlier where Kenny Williams was able to strip the ball. It's a speed sweep, and that time Myrick's just not able to hold on to the ball, gets stripped away, and Colmetz comes up with it.
1st and 10, Baker at the Graceville 40-yard line. Garrett Mitchum at the fullback position. Sam Croson at quarterback. In the backfield is Joe Brunson. And now Trey Colmetz in motion. And Joe Brunson with a handoff. And he busts right through the defensive line. He's to about the 34-yard line, about a 6-yard pickup by Joe Brunson.
Big JB, known for speed and power. This time he's carrying the rock and still delivering hits. Just goes right up the middle and picks up a good 5 yards on 1st down.
Yeah, 2nd down now, 5.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Sam Croson getting some snaps here in this 2nd half. Giving Peyton Rockwell a well-deserved rest. In that shotgun formation, Joe Brunson goes in motion. And handoff goes to Trey Colmes. And Trey Colmes is stopped just shy of the 30-yard line, about a 4-yard pickup. Be very close to a 1st down.
And this is what they're going to continue to do, and this is what they've just done so well, is these just nickel and dime plays, short runs like this, but they wear on a defense so much when you've got so many guys that you can hand the ball off to, continually put in fresh backs and let them run and have continued success. It's just so hard as a defense to stay fresh against them.
It's a yard shy, 3rd down and 1 for the Gators. And again, Trey Colmes busts to the outside, cuts it back in. He's across the 20-yard line to the 15 and tackled at about the 15-yard line. And tackle made by Luke Blackman for the Tigers.
And Trey's got great speed, but he's also very elusive as he's getting outside that right tackle. Looks like he might get taken down, but just makes a little quick move, gets far enough outside to turn on his speed and pick up the 1st down.
It is 1st and 10, Baker at the Graceville 15-yard line. 3:55 to go in the 3rd quarter, and Baker leads at 40-0. Sam Croson, quarterback. Handoff goes to Joe Brunson. Joe goes to the left. He is brought down in the backfield by Cedric Williams. A great tackle by Cedric Williams of the Graceville Tigers.
That is great work by Williams that time. Wraps up Joe's legs, not able to let him keep chugging, and takes him down to the turf. It looks like it's going to be for no gain. So 2nd and long here. But, yeah, great drop by Williams getting back there and bringing Brunson down.
2nd down, 10, back about the 15-yard line. 3:14 to go in the third quarter. Again, Gators in the no-huddle offense. Looking to Coach Brunson on the sideline for the next play. In the backfield again, Brunson and Colmetz. Colmetz goes in motion. Croson hands off to Brunson. Brunson, he blasts through the offensive line, the defense line. He's still going. He's inside the 10-yard line. Close to about an 8-yard, 7-yard pickup by Joe Brunson. 47 degrees now here in Baker, and some of the fans starting to head out to find warmer places to be.
And that's fair. But Brunson, man, just a bully when he gets that ball in his hands, just running over defenders and picking up good yardage there on 2nd down to give him a 3rd and manageable to work with.
He hits on defense and hits hard on offense.
He doesn't care who has the ball. Even if he has the ball, he's still going to lay some hits.
Now Sam Croson under center for the first time this drive. Hands off to Garrett Mitchum. And Mitchum, he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Baker Gators. And that may be Garrett Mitchum's first touchdown of the season, but a great run by Garrett Mitchum.
Believe it was, and just several now, 6 different Gators have scored touchdowns tonight. So I love it, seeing some variety in the way they decide to score. And great run by Garrett, the big fullback, another bully once he gets the ball in his hands.
46-0 with 1:40 left in the third quarter. And now for the extra point, Brian Holly comes back on, and Peyton Rockwell there to handle the snap from center Dustin Oglesby. There's the whistle as we wait for Oglesby to snap the ball back to Peyton Rockwell.
And Holly's hit 4 consecutive extra points.
Make that 5 on this game. So now the score is Baker 47, Graceville nothing. Back after this.
WTJT would like to thank Jason Norton and Baker Metalworks for allowing us to bring live Baker Gator football coverage to the listeners of WTJT. Baker Metalworks offers a large variety of colors, and they are all Energy Star rated. They have 4 profile styles with 29 and 26 gauge. They also have delivery available, and all of their materials are Florida product approved. Baker Metalworks is located at 5846 Highway 189 in Baker. They can be reached by phone at 850-537-2010. Thanks again to Baker Metalworks for all of your support here at WTJT.
And welcome back to Baker. And now a new kicker in for the Gators. I'm not sure who it is, but it's 57. And he kicks a short kick to about the 25-yard line. And is picked up by Jarrell Carpenter for the Tigers, and he gets back to about the 30 or 28-yard line. So now, Seth, we're seeing some different players come in, and I apologize, we have no name for 57, but he does kick the ball in place of Oglesby, or of Holly. Holly.
And not a bad kick by the new kicker coming in.
Yeah. That's the end of the third quarter. We thought that the quarter ended before the kick, but apparently it did not. So at the end of 3 quarters, it's now Baker 47 and Graceville nothing. Take a short break. We'll be back after this.
Hi, this is Tony from Baker Feed and Country Store. The Baker Gator football season is back, and we are proud supporters of WTJT's live Baker Gator football program. Baker Feed and Country Store has all your fall food plot, seed, and fertilizer needs, along with corn, rice bran, pellets, and blocks. We carry Justin boots, belts, wallets, and Wrangler jeans. Baker Feed and Country Store is located on the right at the light in downtown Baker and can be reached by phone 537-1000. Again, that's 537-1000. Go Gators!
And we'll come back to Baker. 1st and 10, Graceville from their 28-yard line. Myrick hands off to his running back, and he goes nowhere. Brought down quickly by number 70. That's Zach Livingston for the Gators.
Yeah, Zach Livingston coming in from that nose guard position, just almost unblocked, and gets into the backfield, takes down the back before he has a chance to go anywhere.
Yeah, seeing some new players coming now for the Gators.
That was also a different back for Graceville. I believe that's number 7, Charlie Nichols.
Who is also the punter. Right. Again, spread formation for the Tigers. And Myrick throws out to his receiver, falls incomplete, brings up 3rd down and about 13 for the Tigers.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to hit his receiver on a little screen there, but just a little bit too low, too short. That's going to bring up a 3rd and pretty long.
Yeah, 10:21 to go in the ball game now. Baker on top, 47-0. They have this one under control. Coach Brunson giving some of his younger players, his second teamers, a chance to play against the Tigers.
And this is the most points that the Gators have scored this season. Their previous was 42 against Holmes County and Rocky, and now they have broken that wide open with 47.
Spread formation, and Myrick back to pass. Throws the ball downfield, falls incomplete. And Gary Mitchum there on the coverage. Or excuse me, that's Seth Lahuda on the coverage. Or excuse me, Joseph Bird. I'll get it right in just a second, Seth. It's Joseph Bird.
Take your time.
Yeah.
But no, Myrick throws that one a little bit short again, and his wide receiver's having to run back to the ball still too low, hits him in the ankles, and now it's going to bring up a 4th down, and I guess Charlie Nichols will get a chance to boot this one deep.
And again, no one back deep for the Gators on 4th and 13, and now Shane White going to drop back now. Now it comes back up. A lot of confusion with these younger players.
They'll figure it out in a minute.
A flag comes down. Nichols bobbles the snap. Now picks up, and he's running for his life. Fumbles the ball. And the Gators recover. So I believe that was Seth Lahuda who recovers for the Gators on the Charlie Nichols fumble.
I believe you're right. And that was going to be a false start, and Coach Brunson's going to decline that. And they're going to take the result of the play, which was a fumble. And the Gators are going to have some of the best field position again that they've had all night, about the 27-yard line.
Yeah, 1st and 10 for the Gators.
28, excuse me.
Yeah. Clock rolling, 8:15 to go in the ball game. Yeah, 1st and 10 from the 28. They lead 47-0 and have an excellent chance here to increase that score by even more. Sam Croson comes in, as well as Eric Arias. And Joseph Bird comes into the lineup.
And we got to see Joseph Bird as a back very early on in the season. If you recall, he had a couple of good runs in the backfield, now coming in as a receiver.
Sam Croson under center, pitches back to Arias. And Arias runs into a brick wall of Tigers near the 25-yard line. Still gains some positive yardage. Tackle made by Demarius Finkles. And it's about a 5-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd down 5 for the Gators.
It's a great run by Arias on the toss. The line gets some good blocks, sets the edge, and then Arias just makes some room with his feet. Picks up a good 5 yards on 1st down.
And clock is rolling. We're down to 7:04 to go in the ball game. Baker well in control, 47-0. Sam Croson under center. I formation. And Sam Croson bootlegs, and that's going to go nowhere. He is brought down hard by big number 50 for the Tigers. And that is Jarrell Carpenter, who has made several tackles tonight for the Tigers.
And that time, unfortunately, it looked like about half of Sam Croson's offensive line was working their way downfield and just did not get any blocking on the Graceville defensive line. They're in Sam's face before he even has a chance to look downfield to try to get rid of that ball.
Yeah, that's what we used to call the lookout block.
That's right.
Look out! 3rd down and 11 for the Gators. Ball is placed at the 29. And clock is down to 6 minutes. We're halfway through this 4th quarter. And almost to the end of this game. Sam Croson hands off to Garrett Mitchum. And Mitchum's across the 20 to about the 15-yard line. A nice run by Garrett. Very close. Should have the first down.
Another powerful run from Garrett Mitchum coming from that fullback position. Just as soon as he gets it, explodes through that great hole made by that offensive line and picks up a first down on a 3rd and long.
So 1st and 10, Baker. Ball is placed about the 16-yard line of the Graceville Tigers. 5:25 to go in the ball game. Baker, well, in control of this game, 47-0.
I don't think the Gators really believe in what you and I might consider obvious passing situations. A 3rd and long is just still handed off to the fullback and let him make some room, and Guerin does a great job there and picks up a fresh set of downs for his offense.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Another score from Navarre as they lead Niceville 28-7 now in the 3rd quarter.
So Navarre giving the Eagles all they can handle tonight.
It appears so.
Okay, 3rd down. Or
it's going to be 1st and 5. There was another penalty on the offense, 5-yarder.
1st and 15 back at the 21-yard line for the Gators. Of course, it's all just academic now. They're just trying to play this clock out. Sam Croson pitched back to Arias, and he is brought down quickly by Luke Blackman of the Tigers.
Great work by Luke Blackman again, coming from that nose guard position. Just gets in the backfield, finds Arias on the toss play, and just slams him into the turf.
So that brings up 3rd down and about 21 yards to go, 22 yards.
Second down.
Second down and 20, about 21 to go. Again, Sam Croson remains quarterback. He's under center. And hands off to Garrett Mitchum. And Mitchum only gains about 2 or 3 yards this time. Brought down quickly about the 24-yard line. 3.5 to go in the ball game.
Just another simple fullback dive play. And as you said, just trying to run out the rest of this running clock and come away with a victory and a 3rd consecutive undefeated regular season.
Indeed, they will match the team from the 1983, 84, and 85 years, state championship years for these Baker Gators. Gary Mitchum again on the handoff, and this time Mitchum picks up about 4 yards. He's inside the 20-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th down for the Gators.
We've got another score out of Vernon as they lead Bluntstown 19-14 near the end of the 3rd quarter.
So that game is now closer than it was.
Bluntstown coming back.
Now, Bluntstown's always been kind of a thorn in the side of the Baker Gators over the years.
And now Holmes County leading Chipley over in Chipley 14-10 in the 3rd quarter.
Holmes County coming back. 4th and 15. The Gators are going for it. And it's Garrett Mitchum. And Mitchum is cut down about the 14-yard line. Had a great burst of speed going there, but couldn't quite get the first down. So the Tigers stop the Gators this time and take over 1st and 10 at their own 13-yard line.
As we hit the 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning. So the Gators will go to 9-0 on the season, and Coach Brunson will go to 9-1 against the Graceville Tigers in his head coaching career.
That's a solid record. Can't complain about that.
Not at all. Now some more substitutions on the Baker defense. Coach Brunson trying to empty his bench. He may put Anthony Patton out there after a while, huh?
Hey, he might. Coach Patton still got some prowess as a linebacker, I'm sure.
A flag comes down, a couple of flags, as Graceville runs the ball around the left side and picks up positive yards, but it's going to go for naught. Looks like it's a legal procedure.
Yeah, before the snap.
Yeah. And we're down to the final 55 seconds of this ball game.
They'll likely run one, maybe two more plays at the most before we see the final whistle.
Have they announced next week's game yet?
I haven't heard the opponent. I'm sure we'll hear about that soon enough.
Okay. $30 seconds left in this ball game. Baker 47-0 over Graceville. And it's Myrick from the right end. Oh, and he's hit hard by Blake Lawson and dropped about the 13-yard line. And that's going to end it for the regular season. And the Baker Gators will go to 9-0. And the final score is Baker 47 and Graceville nothing. Seth, any final thoughts on this last game of the regular season?
Yeah, let me just say how impressed I am with how the Gators did tonight. Just showed up offensively, defensively, on special teams, just every area you could ask them to be excellent in, they were. Penalties still a factor. Unfortunately, they ended the game with about 8 penalties for probably close to about 70 or 80 yards. So still kind of heavily penalized, something that hopefully will get worked out, or that they will just not let stop them, as it still hasn't been able to stop them as they, hit themselves with these penalties. But, I mean, just what an impressive showing by the defense, forcing a third shutout of the season. The offense able to put up 47 points, the most they've scored all season, and now they're going into the playoffs with just some kind of momentum. And I think next week and the rest of this playoffs, they've got a great chance to make another state run, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
Indeed, and as far as I know, we'll be here, and we invite the fans to come out and support the Baker Gators. I believe the game time will be at 7. We thought it might be 7:30. Regardless, we invite the fans to come out and support these Baker Gators. And we got one more score. Navarre over Niceville, 35-13 in the fourth quarter. So Navarre starting to distance himself from the Niceville Eagles.
And Navarre also be in the playoffs. I'm sure we'll be hearing as they make their run in, I believe, what are they, 6A?
I believe so. Yeah. So once again, your final score, Baker 47, Graceville nothing. For Seth, I'm Mark Forehand. Have a super safe weekend, and we'll see you next week.